President. Happy New Year, Mr. President. You gotta give me the money I need to protect the border.
Why is there enough money to take care of other countries, but not enough to take care of the United States? And that was Biden's answer when he got off Marine One. A reporter asked him, what about the southern border? And he said, what about it? Oh, we need to do more. They need to give me the money. He's blaming Congress, Republicans in Congress, for not giving him the funds to secure our southern borders. But he has no problem whatsoever coming up with $100 billion or so to send to Ukraine. He has no issue with that. This administration has done nothing but allow illegal immigration to skyrocket since 2020. It is absolutely out of control, and the Biden administration does not care. As a matter of fact, Mayorkas, his secretary, is blaming a governor, Governor Greg Abbott in Texas, saying it's his fault. It's a lack of governance is the reason why our southern border is the way it is.
Identify one fundamental problem here, and that is the fact that we have one governor in the state of Texas who is refusing to cooperate with other governors and other local officials and coordinate efforts to address a challenge that our country, which this country should stand united to address, that our country is facing. And it's a remarkable failure of governance to refuse to cooperate with one's fellow local and state officials.
Oh, I'm sorry, let me correct myself. A failure in governance. This is the man who currently is in Congress during impeachment hearings. The Republican Congress is trying to remove Mayorkas from his office because he not only has failed to do his job, but he's taking the lead of a president who's failed at every step of the way. This man is allowing millions of illegal immigrants into this country. Okay, millions. In the 3 years since Joe Biden has been president, 7 million illegal immigrants have come into the United States. And Mayorkas is telling us the border's secure. We've heard Kamala Harris, the border's secure. They blame Republicans, they blame Trump, they blame everybody else. Now Mayorkas is blaming Greg Abbott. What are you supposed to do when millions of people are coming through the border to these border states that simply cannot handle the flow? They're sending them to sanctuary states, sanctuary cities, and oh, the mayors are upset. Now they're complaining because they sit in power in a city or state where we're all welcome, we're all included, we don't exclude anybody. But now they're up in arms because they're getting inundated just like the southern borders. And 3 of them, Denver, Chicago, and New York, are so pissed off now they want to sue Joe Biden.
As the number of southern border crossings soar, mayors across the country bracing for new waves of migrants. U.S. Customs and Border Protection reporting more than 242,000 encounters at the border in November. Texas Governor Greg Abbott transporting migrants to Democratic-run cities like Denver, Chicago, and New York, whose 3 mayors gathered virtually last week to sound the alarm.
We at this point now have had more migrant arrivals to our city than any city in America per capita.
New York's Mayor Adams issuing an executive order requiring charter buses provide the city at least 32 hours notice prior to arrival. but buses seemingly skirting around that order over the holiday weekend. Local officials saying an estimated 10 buses from Texas and one from Louisiana dropped off about 400 migrants at New Jersey transit stations, where they continued into the city by train.
Now, I'll admit that the influx of migrants to these cities, Denver, Chicago, New York, is a burden. And I'm certain that it's costing these cities millions and millions of dollars to try to house these people. But why is it the problem of Texas, of Arizona, when it should be the problem of the federal government? The federal government is the reason why this is happening. Joe Biden is the reason why this is happening. Everyone points the finger the other way. The Biden administration continues to blame the Trump administration for our immigration crisis. Donald Trump was constructing a wall. Joe Biden halted it. And you heard Joe in the beginning, they got to give me the money. There's no money. But again, there's plenty of money to send to Zelensky in Ukraine. They could care less about the United States of America. This is nothing more, and I've probably said this 10,000 times, this is a ploy to keep Democrats in office because they're going to allow these people, or they want to allow these people, to vote without showing some form of identification. Well, Speaker Mike Johnson went to Eagle Pass, Texas, to have a first-hand look at the border, and this is what he had to say.
You have everybody from California to Maryland, from Michigan to Florida. We represent over half the U.S. states because every state in America is now a border state, and we've seen that on vivid display today. Today we were able to meet with local residents, with sheriffs, with the Texas DPS. We also toured the CBP processing facility here in Eagle Pass, and it's been an eye-opener. One thing is absolutely clear. America is at a breaking point with record levels of illegal immigration. And today, we got a firsthand look at the damage and the chaos the border catastrophe is causing in all of our communities. The situation here and across the country is truly unconscionable. We would describe it as both heartbreaking and infuriating. Our communities are overrun. We have local resources that are being strapped. We have lethal drugs that are pouring into our country at record levels. And it's in less than 3 years that President Biden took office that this has happened.
And I believe a breaking point is a nice way to put it. In December of 2023 alone, there were 300,000 encounters by Border Patrol agents. In November, it was upwards around 280,000. The people are being moved out of Texas because there is simply no place to put them. Texas made it very clear from day one, they are not a sanctuary state. And as far as I know, no city or town within the state of Texas is a sanctuary city or town. But again, why is it the problem of Greg Abbott when he's just trying to move these people and make room for the people who live in these communities in Texas? Eric Adams was going to save New York. He was going to make New York the best place it could possibly be. And now all he's doing is showing that he's nothing more than a woke Democrat, because everybody was welcome. Send them on. New York's here. We're open for business. We'll take care of them. And now he's crying and filing a lawsuit against the Biden administration, which, quite frankly, will go nowhere, because Eric Adams and Johnson in Chicago and that mayor in Denver invited this. They spoke of this. They campaigned on this. They're all inclusive. Send everybody. We'll find a home for you. People are being displaced. Veterans are being moved out of residences paid for by the cities so migrants can live there. And this is supposed to be the United States of America. This country has gone from, I still believe, of course, the United States is the best country in the world, and I'll always believe that. But it's slowly gone down the drain since Joe Biden raised his hand and became the president. Because he is on a mission, and I still don't know what his end game is. And quite frankly, I don't think he knows what his end game is. But whoever's putting these ideas on the table and having him read them, they are trying to do something to this country that we haven't seen before. They're trying to make this country where the President of the United States calls all the shots, tells every one of its citizens what they will and will not do. There's laws, well, we're going to change the laws to fit us. They don't want to keep criminals in jail. They don't want to put more police on the street. They want to put illegal immigrants in the U.S. military, along with the transgender people. What are we doing as a country? And how can you or myself or anybody as an American citizen sit back and allow this to happen? There has to be a solution. A Democrat politician is definitely not the answer. And I don't know if Donald Trump is the answer. But what I do know about Trump is the 4 years he was in the White House, there were no immigration problems. There were no military problems. There were no wars started or billions of dollars given to other countries to fight wars. He ruled like a president should rule, in the favor of the American people. This administration is an absolute disgrace, and everyone in it, and they all need to be removed. Again, Biden probably won't make it to the finish line, so God only knows who they're going to put in to try to beat Donald Trump this year. It remains to be seen, but our country is being invaded by illegal immigrants, and it's not just families with children. Millions of military-age men are coming into this country not to join the U.S. Armed Forces. They have another plan. We just haven't seen it yet. And I pray to God that we don't see it, because it's probably not going to be good.